Okay, we're not going to worry about the wall that's in our way right now. We're just going to worry about just getting our height and our width. So we're going to start off with 3 different ones. The first one is going to be an 8-foot wall. Your ceiling joist up in the attic is, I'm just assuming you're going to go up to the attic and add a room. Okay, you have a 2x4 wall that's exactly 96 inches tall from the finished floor, your oak floor, carpet, whatever. Then you have to add 5.5 inches for your ceiling joist. And then you want to add 3/4 subfloor. And then let's just assume you're going to put hardwoods up there, so we'll say 3/4 hardwoods. So we have 96, we have 5.5, that's the ceiling joist, wall, then you have 3/4 subfloor, and then you have 3/4, I'm just going to call it oak floor. So we can total that up, because you need to know what the finished floor is upstairs before you start getting measurements, or else you're going to come out with wrong measurements on the finished product. So we'll get our Mr. Calculator here. Okay, 96 plus 5.5, 5.5 plus 3/4, 0.75, 3/4, 0.75. Okay, so we got 103 total. Put down here on the bottom, 103. All right. Now let's say you have a 9-foot wall. Okay, a 9-foot wall, which is 108. 108. Because 9 times 12 is 108. And then you have your 5.5 inch. No, let's say you're going to have 7-inch ceiling. This is the wall. And you're going to have 3/4 and 3/4. Alright? Alright, so 108 plus 7 plus 0.75 plus 0.75 plus. That's going to give us 116.5. So our next number is going to be 116.5. 6.5. Okay, let's say you've got a deck that's 4 foot. That's from the ground to the top of your finished deck. Okay, so that means we now have, let's make it interesting. Let's say 47 inches. Okay, so now we've got 103, 116.5, and 47. Alright, let's get our first one. First we need to know the first thing you got to know is how many steps you've got to have. We want to keep them between 7.5. That's pretty much the bare minimum of what you want to have for steps. You start getting higher than that, it's going to start being uncomfortable to climb. Okay, take 103. Okay, 103. And you want to divide by, let's just say 7-inch. Divided by 7 equals. Okay, that's going to give us about 14. 14. Okay, so 14 steps is what I'm trying to say here. So 103 divided by 14 equals. Okay, this is the height. This is your riser measurements, which is just a hair under. That's probably about 7 5/16, give or take. Okay, so your 103 measurement is going to give you a riser of 7. Let's just call 7 5/16. All right. So this one, 7 5/16. Now let's get the 116 and a half. Okay, 116 divided by, let's just start with 7 inches again. 7 equals, okay, that's 16 and a half steps. Okay, let's just start off with 7 inch. Okay, 116.5 divided by 7 equals, well, that's 16 and 0.6. That's 16 and a half steps. Can't have that. Now take your 116.5 divided by 16 equals, okay, there's your riser. 7 and just a hair over a quarter of an inch. So that's close enough to say 7 1/4. Okay, now let's take the number 47. Okay, 47 divided by, let's just start with 7 again, equals 6, almost 7 steps. Okay, so we'll try 47 divided by 7 equals, that's 6 3/4 of an inch. So that's not bad. Okay, this one we have 7 stairs, and it's going to be 6 3/4 inch. Okay, now we have all our numbers. Now what we got to do is lay out the distance from the wall into the room itself. So now this is important. Your material for your treads, it's usually around 12 inches. But now you've got to have an overhang. So if you have okay, you have some stairs, and before you start cutting your risers, first thing you need to know is how far over is your finished stair tread going to hang over, because all that does, you put this finished piece there, and then the tread goes over the top of it. So you have your tread and then your riser trim. Okay, but since everything's 12 inches, let's just go by 12. So if we do a 12-inch tread, well, let me back up. Let's just say we're going to do a 12-inch and 11-inch, because your outside lumber is 5 1/2. 2 of those equals 11-inch. So let's do 11 and 12. All right. 12-inch. So when you start laying out, we know the height. That's not going to change. Now we know the height. Now we need to know the depth of the stair, which now we're going to say 12 inches. But how much overhang are you going to have? You're going to have 1 inch. You're going to have 3/4. just to make it simple, I'm just going to say 1 inch. So we're going to take away 1 inch from here to here. 1 inch. So what that means is you've got your, we're going to start with a 7 5/16. You've got your riser, 7 5/16. You're going to come back 11 inches. And I'll explain that here in just a minute.